Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. So today we're going to be working on building the upright supports and the handlebar for the off-road welding cart. Been a little bit of delay in fabrication. Today's the first day that I've had available to be able to do anything. Been out of town working. So anyway, here we go. This is what we are going. Here's the bottom frame, which I did in my previous video. You can check that out. And see how we came up with that. And then today we are going to take two of these 3-foot, 1.5 inch 188 wall. Yeah, I went with some heavy stuff. Originally the reason for that is because this was scrap metal that I picked up for literally $1 a pound. Not terrible, not great. I don't know what steel prices are, honestly. Don't care. The cutoffs are a lot more affordable than buying whole 20-foot sticks. So today I got these already cut out. They're 3 foot long, 1.5 inch square, 188 wall, heavy duty stuff. This cart's gonna weigh a crap load, and I'm actually pretty excited about that. The heavier it is, the easier it's going to roll across the grass, soft dirt, tree stumps, whatever. Tree roots, excuse me. So what we're going to do is get this all marked out, set up, kind of get that burned in. And then once these are how I want them and where I want them, we're going to start building a tray to hold the welder and the plasma cutter. And then we're also going to put some handles on here. And down below, right in this section, I'm going to put a plate in. I got to measure out the gas bottle, but this is where the gas bottle is going to sit. And then we will be putting wheels and an axle on. I'm going with, I'll show you real quick. Going with these bad boys here. They are for a wheelbarrow. And I got them at Hobo Freight. I think I paid $10 a piece for them. And the axle is going to be a piece of 5/8 solid round bar stock. So we'll get that trimmed out. I haven't decided if I want to build a bracket or a gusset and drop the axle down, or just weld the round bar straight to the bottom of the frame and put the axle on. Because the nice thing about these is those are bearings, so it's going to roll regardless of how I decide to mount it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after I get this all set up. So I got one tacked in, and if it's not right, don't be afraid to put a couple tack welds to hold it in there. If you're short on magnets or what have you, hands, I mean, we could all use a third hand. You can always take your zip disc or wheel of death, grinder, what have you, and bust those off, smooth off the welds, and start over. So got a bunch of crap in here. What I want to do is set the phone down for a second. Hold on. All right, I don't got a stick big enough But I got this strip of 10 gauge sheet metal and a degree finder. So if you can see, we're on the 0. We're just a skosh off. Like I said, we're not building any machine work or anything like that. This is literally going to be a hand cart for that. We're going to do whatever with that one. But this is going on there. And then down here behind the wife stuff, we got the Art Captain Cut 50. And as you can see, this rack's going to serve a great purpose because that's a rat's nest of crap just piled up down there. And we need to get it cleaned up off the floor so everything's nice and neat. And I don't know if you guys remember from a previous video, but this was a train wreck. It's getting better. So moving in, got a lot of crap you got to sort through. Anyhow, enough of that nonsense. So there's a little bit of a bow in the plate. But what I want to check is how straight in line this is with the other one. Cool thing for you guys is you get to watch me learn. You get to watch my skills improve. I need to knock off this little tab from where I cut it. That way that plate sits flush. But we're looking pretty good. I think the issue I'm having is this one is kind of doing one of these. Not a big deal. Like I said, it's just tacked in down there at the bottom in a few places. I can move that and make her straight again. So, but also, like I said, I'm not doing this for a business. This is for my own personal use. It doesn't have to be 179.8% perfect. It just has to work for me and not fall apart. It's all about function and performance over aesthetics. Obviously, you want to build something that looks good and functions, and that's what I'm working on doing. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to tack this one in, and then I'm going to arc it out a little bit and put a tack in there. That way it's completely straight. So we'll be back, check in shortly. By the way, the word I was looking for is square. Couldn't find the word until I found my square. So looking good there. And of course, because of those little tack welds right there, I can't get it square without busting the tacks off. There we go. Looking pretty good. But like I said, I think this tube has a bit of a bow to it. So we're probably going to have to just live with it, because the steel yard's closed and this stuff is like $4 a foot to buy the foot if you're not buying a remnant or cut off. So, and for those of you that don't know, like, because it comes in a 20-foot stick, and say you only need 10 feet, you can buy the 10 foot and only pay for the 10 foot, not pay for the whole 20. And then what they'll do is they'll take the other 10 foot that they got and they'll put it in their cutoff bin, And the square tubing at the steel yard I go to, and it might be same for everywhere else, I don't know. Square tubing, round tubing is sold by the foot, not by the pound. But every once in a while, if you throw some square tubing up there, they're nice enough to sell it to you for $1 a pound or 80 cents a pound, what have you, with the remnants. So just some advice if you're looking to save some money. I know we all are. The economy's tough. So if you want to save some money, check out the remnant pile if you're not familiar with the steel yards. They call it remnants or cutoffs, what have you. And usually you take it up to a scale they got, put it on a scale, they write down the number, and whatever their dollar per pound is that they want to charge you is what they'll charge you. So I have yet to buy a complete piece of metal from them, just because usually their cutoff bin has most of what I need. So with the exception of back here, this is a 4x3, 3x4, however you want to look at it, 1/4 inch plate. I did pay full retail for that just because that's the amount that I wanted. So for a different project. Anyway, we'll get this situated and we'll be back in just a second. And we popped the breaker. Again, downfall of not having a garage wired for a welder or a plasma cutter. And I don't want to work outside in the heat, so I'm not firing up the Jenny. So stand by, we'll fix this. I don't know if you can see that all that well, but let's just do this. I think that's probably my best weld yet, and I'm mighty proud of that. Sorry about the shaky camera work. Then we pop the breaker again. At some point, folks, I'll get some better wiring in the garage. Well, this is going to be a process of fighting with the electrical panel. So I'm going to take care of this off camera and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, so after tripping the breaker several times, this is how it turned out. And then, so like right here, sorry, my fat fingers are in the way. Anyway, this is the initial weld. Turned out really good. That turned out damn good. But where it's all bubbled up like that, now see, I don't know if there is a way to do it or if there's not. And if there is a way, I haven't learned it. But when you stop for a electrical or mechanical issue, where you can continue that, and so it doesn't end up looking like that. So like I said, those turned out really good, and wherever you see the transition, that's where the breaker popped on me. It's like I said, my garage is not wired very well for running this kind of amperage. So until I can get an electrician out and get that figured out, because I'll be honest, I don't know diddly squat about wiring anything. Not my strong suit. But anyway, that's what happened over here too. This one actually was kind of a fill-in weld for the corner, but as you can see, that's a really nice one. And so is that one. On this side, these are more or less just fill-ins to get the corners, but on this other pillar over here, that looks the way it does mostly because I kept tripping the breaker. But anyway, like I've said in previous videos, I'm not a professional. I am absolutely learning as I go, and stuff like this is a massive improvement from when I very first picked up the welding torch for the first time in April of 2024. So before that, oh, they look like boogers, bird poop, just grade A crap. But it's a process. Every time you do it, you get a little better. You keep finding a technique that you want to try and perfect. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm sure there's a lot of techniques, but here I'm working on practicing the whip and pause technique, as opposed to just running a straight bead. And this cart is going to come in super handy. Like I said, I got my uprights all welded in. I'm going to let that cool down, but in the meantime, I'm going to start working on getting some cross bracing in up here, and I also am going to look at putting a piece of plate across here in this section to hold the good old gas bottle. So this will probably be a lengthy video. I'm not going to trim it down. But please, in the middle of this video, drop a like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. If you give me a thumbs down, leave some feedback. Tell me why you disliked it. I would appreciate that so I can know what I need to do or adjust and go from there. So we'll be back here shortly. I'm going to get some more things worked on for this, and then we'll put a video up. Alright, so while I was letting those welds cool down a little bit and had some lunch, after lunch I came out, and this is a piece of 10 gauge, and I notched the corners. I got to round it out a little bit right there, and a little bit in that corner also. But I think this is going to work out pretty good. That width of 10 gauge is more than half of what the diameter of that bottle is. So, oh shoot, let's take a look. A little over 5 inches wide. Plus we got this right here. So that, my friends, will work out. I got to do a little bit more fab work, and we'll get this thing burned in. Now they say 10 gauge is sheet metal, but is it like sheet metal or is it really thin plate? That I don't know, but we're gonna find out. we got to turn the welder down a little bit. So it's taking it pretty well, but I kind of burned through it a little bit up here at first to turn the welder down, and it seems to be doing a lot better now. So we'll continue on and make it happen, Captain. All right, well, I got that all burned in, and everywhere you see a break is where the breaker popped on me. I had to start over. So pretty good. That one's not the greatest. I might touch that one up. That one probably needs some on that side too. That one's really good. And over here, same story. Everywhere you see a break, that's where the breaker popped. So, but other than that, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. So I may have some warpage in there, but I don't care. It's 10 gauge on 188 wall, which is or 0.188 wall, which is basically 3/16. So, and what I did was, for those that don't know, and I had to learn this myself, is I start the heat on the thicker metal, then carry it over to the thinner metal. For those of you that don't know or are curious how that works, or you just don't care, either way, that's what I did. That's from asking questions and kind of watching other welding videos and such. So, but I kind of like how this turned out. I'm gonna let this all cool down, go get a snack, and we'll probably flip this thing over and start mounting the wheels on. All right, so we're back, and we have got all the wheels on the cart. I thought about putting a plate or a bracket there, but I think that'll do, and if I don't like it, I can always change it later. So we're going to flip this thing over and put it on the ground and see how she rolls, and then we'll start working on building some cross bracing, and we're probably going to do a tray later on. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that tonight, so stick around, we'll be right back. All right, we got the wheels on. I took it for a little test spin around the yard. Now we're going to put a handle on there and get to fabricating some more stuff. How's that sound? All right, here we go. Harbor Freight magnets, 90-pound pull. These things work amazing. I still need to put a bolt in there so they're easier to break off when I'm done using them.